What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Because you know it's your boy B-Hot Radio Shout and stepping in the building. I got a friend and family member to the show off in this thing. Markuann Smith, what's going on with it, boss?
My man B-Hot, what's up, man?
Same grind, man. Good to have you back in this thing.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Mark, Godfather of Harlem, still going strong. Talk to me about this latest season and where we at with it, boss.
Oh man, season 4 is crazy.
Yeah.
We got a new character that's being introduced by the name of Frank Lucas.
Ooh.
He's from LaGrange, North Carolina. He comes up to the big city.
Yeah.
Looking for the American dream like Bumpy did in season 1, leaving Alcatraz, and they clash.
What?
So season 4 is like a real hell up in Harlem. You're gonna see a lot of different type of struggles between the Italians and Bumpy, between Frank Lucas, Bumpy, and the Italians, and a lot of historical characters are in there, such as James Baldwin, Afeni Shakur.
Crazy.
Truman Capote. It's a real good season this year.
Okay, I mean, researching and preparing for season 4. I mean, how did we get ready for this thing, sir?
Oh man, see, big shout out to the writers, man. We have some amazing writers in the writers' room, and history is always repeating itself, right?
Yeah.
So we're in 1966 right now. So a lot of the writing goes, really to the historical things that were happening in '66.
Yeah.
So a lot of the movements, the birth of the Black Panthers, the birth of the Black Power movement, all of that is you'll be able to see.
That's crazy. I mean, how do you feel on your 4th season in this thing, though, Mark? Because, I mean, you've been keeping this show rolling. Yeah. And you know it's difficult to get more than one season.
Absolutely.
Let alone 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel good. I mean, it seems to me like, the first day of shooting, when Teamster walked up to me and said, "Hey, Markuann, can I get a minute of your time?" I'm like, "What's up?" He said, "Thank you for never giving up. For you not giving up allowed me to feed my family for the next 6 months." So to be on season 4, I know a lot of people are able to work. A lot of jobs are being created, and just bringing great entertainment to TV.
Exactly. For you, though, Mark, I mean, what has it been like, maneuvering any other projects or spinoffs coming from this, though, sir?
Well, me, I'm a creator, actor. I like to, what I say is make history cool, right? So
I'm with that.
So there's a possibility of maybe a Frank Lucas spinoff. Putting that out there.
Crazy.
But I also have some other projects I'm working on my own that I've been developing for the last 7 years. I'm doing a project about the nation capital, based in '85 to '90 and everything that was going on back then. I have another project I'm working with an amazing writer by the name of Tanya Hoffler. Big shout out to Tanya Hoffler.
Yeah.
It's called Relay, about the relationship of a woman track and field team. So it's very exciting just to create content.
Yeah.
I love the crime genre, but I like to, get out of that as well too.
I feel
and
that.
The type of crime genre I like to tell is the truth, like things that are actually happening. But to show the juxtaposition of what's happening now and then is just like an amazing entry point for me.
Exactly. I mean, how do you feel though being in Hollywood right now, doing your thing and actually dominating on these folks, man?
Yeah. How I feel, man, it's you still deal with your what's the word that I want to use? Your hazing. You're still dealing with narcissism. You're still dealing with nepotism. Unfortunately, a lot of the DEI programs have been cut, meaning the fact that when you're walking into a room trying to pitch something, there's not a lot of time there are people that understand your culture. So you have to work even harder. But
talk to me about that whole DEI and how it impacted, film.
Well, I would say this, right? They're not obligated to purchase anything. There's no quota to be made when you're walking in trying to sell a project now. The bottom line is the ROI. You could have the best project in the world. You could say, this has never been seen before in TV or film, but they're looking at you with a poker face. You want us to give you a loan. Potentially, that's what you're asking for, a loan, right? An episode may cost about $5 million, $6 million per ep, to shoot something. And that might be on the low end. So now you're asking them to commit to something, and they have to figure out, what is our return on investment? Now, are we going to get our money back domestically? What about the foreign sales? What about when we do outer homes with the marketing? How will it affect people? What is the demographic? It's a lot of algorithms and metrics that come into selling a show.
Yeah. Break down, where does those millions of dollars come per episode? What is all of that? It costs that damn much.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, a period piece costs a lot of money. You have to recreate that
everything.
Time. Yeah, you know,
Okay.
from cars to the stages.
Yeah.
Set dresses. Then who's going to be your number one on the call sheet?
Yeah.
And then you got to think about music licensing, music clearances, and things of that sort. You know, there's a lot of things that come into making a project right.
Is that difficult navigating that, or is that part of the fun for Markuann Smith out here? Just, bossing up and making it do.
You know what I like? I like to be multi-hyphenate, right?
Okay.
I look up to people like Issa Rae, who created the awkward black girl.
Thanks.
And turned the awkward black girl into Insecure.
That's right.
I like Lena Waithe, you know, what she did with The Shy. So to be able to play a point guard and still come and play the number 3 or number 4 and still score is just amazing to me. You know, I like playing in front of the camera, you know, in the sandbox with the greats of Giancarlo Esposito, Forrest Whitaker, Vincent D'Onofrio, Paul Savino, God bless the dead, Chaz Palminteri. These are all legends, you know.
Exactly.
And for me to be able to have them as scene partners is just an amazing thing to me.
That's
real. As well as being in the executive producer chair and creating things that are coming out of your head and seeing it, you know, just come on the screen is just dope.
Exactly. Yeah. So now, I mean, we were talking off camera about C. Murder's case and what's going on with him, man. You said you had some conversation with C.
Oh man, yeah. I love good documentaries, and I was blessed to be able to talk to Corey. You know, so me and him zoomed, and he wants me to, you know, do his documentary, and I think he has a case that's very unfair. Yeah, he's been sitting down in Angola for how many years? 20 plus, right? Yeah, and it's about jail reform. It's about racism that's happening out there in New Orleans. You know, Jefferson Parish is one of the most racist parishes out there. You know, if you are familiar with Katrina, you're familiar with what was going on when people were just trying to get over there to get food, right? Yeah. When they were shooting at them. So talking to C and, you know, knowing what he's going through, and he wants to tell about his childhood, his family, you know, him just staying there, working in hospice, seeing people that he started doing time with just leaving, dying, you know. He said something real deep to me when I was on a Zoom call with him. He said that when he comes home, it's a couple of people he wants to just go exhume out the ground because they're like in Potter's Field, and give them a real burial so they could finally be free. Yeah. So I told Corey, I was like, man, I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to make this documentary happen for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Talking to him though, man, how was his spirits, you know, after all of this time?
Oh man, he's, you know, for somebody that's been doing all that time, his spirits are upbeat. He's a fighter. He's never given up. Yeah. You know, for me to be in something like that, that's crazy. I mean, he's like living in hell. Yeah. He tells me stories about how, you know, people cut their Achilles heel because they don't want to go out and do work. Crazy. It's like a modern day plantation out there, you know. And just to see where he's at, and he's been treated unjust. He's, you know what I really like about the conversation that we had is like, you know, I want to show both angles. I want to show the victim as well as myself. Yeah. I don't want people to say I'm just begging for their mercy. I'm showing you that I'm really innocent, that I'm not guilty, you know? Yeah. And when he said that and speaking to his team, you know, I was like, you know what? The world needs to see this.
Exactly. I mean, when you're going into these offices and pitching these different shows and stuff like that, what is that like for you as a black man out here, Markuann?
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Walking into an office and everybody's looking at you. Yeah. They're giving you the poker face. It's like walking in and trying to get a second mortgage or a mortgage for your house, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, nobody owes you shit, bro.
That's right.
At all. Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel like, you know, people owe them shit. Like, you know, you owe me. I'm entitled to get this. I sat down with Forrest on my right-hand side, Chris Brancato, who created the TV series Narcos, Paul Eckstein, R.I.P., the president of ABC Signature, the highest executive under the president, and we were like a war machine. Yeah. Jim Atchison, Nina Yang, Bon Jovi. We were the Avengers, literally. Exactly. You know, walking in like, and we gotta know. Ooh. So when somebody tells me they got a project, I'm like, I look at them like, what makes your project so different and so special? I sat down with an Academy Award-winning actor and I was still getting no's, you know? So I'm talking from experience, right? I look at it like this, B-High, right? Mm-hmm. I used to ball. Yeah. How many people you think are in the NBA right now?
Probably a few hundred.
450 people. Yeah. Right? How many people on the NBA team? 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How many people play basketball in college actually make it to the NBA? About 1%.
Yeah.
So these are real dynamics, and these are real numbers. The same thing comes to selling a TV series, right? This is not an easy process. This is not an easy thing. You can have the best thing in the world. At the end of the day, they want to know, what is the ROI? What is my return on investment? You got a great story, but fuck the story. We want to know what the bottom line is. We want to know how much money we're getting back.
I feel that. So answer me this though, Mark. What about going independent? How does that fare as far as putting out content independently? And then also when you're going for, I guess it would be licensing the content. How would that be?
I mean, first of all, before you go the independent route, you have to find out what studios appreciate that independent model, because there's some studios, they don't want to do licensing deals.
Oh.
Some networks, they don't want to do licensing deals because they want to own your content, right? Outright. So they're like, we're not making any money doing the licensing deals, right? You can have a lot of money, you can have all the money in the world, and some networks just won't do a deal with you because at the end of the day, they want to be invested in it, right?
Yeah.
Those deals that you're talking about independently, they're cool. You can do a film, you can run it through the festivals, you can bring it through cons, you can bring it through Sundance, you can bring it through Urban World, you can bring it through ABFF, and hopefully a distributor comes and picks it up. But that's the risk that you're taking by playing with your own money, right? You playing with your own money, So think about playing with your own money and playing with other people's money. You know what I'm saying?
It's two different things.
Two different things, yeah.
What advice do you got for upcoming people that's coming out of college that want to get into film production and stuff like that? What do they need to be doing and what do they need to be thinking about?
I mean, you need to be studying, honing your craft, for real. Like, if you're a filmmaker, I say it all the time, coming out of college doesn't make you a filmmaker. You got to get in there because there's some people that didn't even go to college that are filmmakers.
Exactly.
Right? You got iPhones right now, iPhone 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, whatever it is, right? You can shoot movies on that, right? College is always a good thing, but just don't look at college as that's the degree for me to enter this business.
Exactly.
And somebody pick me up. Yeah. You can become an actor and go to Carnegie Mellon, NYU. You could do all of that stuff, but that doesn't mean that you're going to book a role.
It's not going to guarantee you a spot.
It's not guarantee you booking a role. It's a competitive sport out there.
Exactly.
So, for your audience, the people that want to get into it, learn the lingo, learn the jargon, man. Go get filmmaking for dummies over at Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
Go get screenwriting for dummies. Go get acting for dummies. Go to school. Go to college. Do summer stock. Do your local plays.
That's right.
But learn the craft. Don't be put on a set and you look like a deer in headlights.
Ooh. Okay, for you though, Mark, what has been the most difficult thing for you to overcome over these last 4 years of putting out a major television show?
Oh man, me personally is the entitlement people have. They think that they have. A lot of my people that I thought were friends slowly start fading away because when you say no, it's like you're the worst person in the world, right? And you're allowed to say no, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is just been really crazy. People asking you to put them on. I'm like, put you on, man. I owe $2,000 for SAG. Nigga, what you mean put you on, man? You got $3,000 for SAG for me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I appreciate people that go out there and grind and get it going. Don't call me and tell me you got a project and you expect me to do the heavy lifting. You're not my employer and I'm not your employee.
Come on now.
You feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate people who have put projects together and need a little push. When I say a little push, it's like I got my Bible written. I got my first draft done. I got a writer attached to it that's known. I got, not my cousin who can write in the basement and then all of a sudden you go into a room and they like, what has he written? You feel what I'm saying? So dealing with that personally, and then a lot of friends, man. A lot of people say they're your friends and they're not your friends. People are hugging you with a knife behind their back. You think a lot of people are happy for you, and it's no happy. I've dealt with a situation like that. Somebody I grew up with that I thought was a good friend of mine, and it wasn't a good friend of mine. He tried to kind of like soft extort me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you kind of gotta watch yourself nowadays. It's really kind of lonely when you're successful. That's the truth. Now, I never knew about that until I seen it. I was like, wow, you think people are happy for you and they're really, looking at ulterior motives.
It's funny you say that because I literally just did a podcast for You Came In Here with Wick talking about what Tyler Perry's going through right now with somebody that he thought was cool with him, and next thing you know, they're trying to hit him for $260 million. What do you think about all of that extra stuff going on in the industry when you got Diddy's, Tyler's, and everybody being hit with different stuff that's a slick extortion as well?
You know what it is? I say this, right? Every case is different, right? I don't really have too many friends. I got a lot of associates. Using that word friend is, you have to make sure that word is used the right way.
Exactly.
You know? When you put out there like that, I mean, for Diddy, man, his I don't know the whole situation with his case, but the videos don't lie, right? So you got to think about it. Is this really a grown man that's really enjoying crazy sexual activities with his different partners, or this is something else, right? You know, Tyler Perry, I don't know that case as well too, but it could be really diabolical work. It's nasty work out there, man. It's real nasty work. So you are prone to be attacked. The more you up on that food chain, the more people are looking at you, you know. And it's messed up to think that, right? But it is what it is. You got to be able to protect yourself. You got to play defense as well as offense.
How do you feel about that, though? Because, I mean, the more success that you have, you know, a lot of people like to think that that's supposed to equal to happiness. But then it equals to loneliness and pressure and stress and more bills and more money, more problems.
Now, I always said, when Biggie said that, I was like, you know what? I want to see what them problems like.
Show me.
Right? Show me them problems like. But, you know, I understand what it is, because it's plenty of times that because right now I'm at a point where I could wake up doing what I want to do, not what I have to do. And there's not a lot of people that can do that. So I find myself by myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and when you entertaining conversations, they gotta mean something, right? I don't entertain conversations that are meaningless, that are pointless. Like, why are we even talking?
Come on.
A lot of people got champagne tasting beer money, man.
Come on.
For real. That's all I gotta say, man. For real.
Now, I mean, back on tour with Big Bro. Talk to me about that, man.
Oh, man, it's exciting, man. Being back on a stage with my brother. Seeing so many people that still love the '90s and the New Jack Swing movement. We just did the Preakness in Baltimore with D Nice. Shout out to D Nice and Kenny Burns.
What up, though, Kenny?
We did our thing, and he's about to do Rock the Bells. With Eddie F and Intro and Horace Brown, Jeff Redd, you know, a lot of the Uptown, Monique, for a lot of the Uptown clique is getting back together to do a segment in Rock the Bells. So, you know, just being on tour, man, it's just like you want to turn memories and make them into moments now, right?
That's right. Memories
to me gets depressing. Oh, I remember, right? So you can still make memories, you know what I'm saying? So it's been dope, man.
That's hard. I mean, Father MC, for y'all that just don't understand what we talking about, that's what we talking about right now. How does Father feel about being able to maintain his relevancy throughout all this time, and then you being able to ride with your bro, but then do you get too busy for Big Bro sometimes?
I mean, we've always had our own separate lives, and that's one thing about my brother is, you know, as I told you before, he had fired me. So he fired me back in 95, 96, so I wouldn't have to be dependent on him. So we both have two different lives, you know.
That's right.
I work in television and film, he does music, you know what I'm saying? And when we could come together and put our heads together and say, yo, I'm gonna throw you an alley-oop, or you gonna throw me an alley-oop, we can make it happen, you know. The thing about it is self-dependency. It's like even with a relationship, right? Your wife got to have her own life, you got to have your own life, but y'all can still come together, but you have to be self-dependent of each other as well too. You know what I'm saying? So with my brother, you know, he does his thing and I do my thing, you know. I'm always going to be there to support him anytime I can.
Now, when we talk about television, Markuann, I mean, what do you think about the future of this thing? Where is it going?
Oh, man, TV, man, you see this AI, I don't even know shit real nowadays. You know what I'm saying? For real, you know. I mean, you got to look. We were just listening to CDs the other day, right? We were just watching DVDs, right? We were just playing with Benzie boxes. Remember, like, you know what I'm saying? The people that know about the Benzie box, you take the face off the plate, carry it out, so you know. I remember one day I was on Sunset Boulevard and Flavor Flav pulled up in his BMW, and he had the speaker, like the house speaker at the back. You know, you got to detach it for the battery drain. I'm like, look how far we are right now. Now we dealing with AI.
Yeah.
You talking about metaverses and just things of that sort. Streaming, we were all about Nielsen ratings, right? Because it was broadcast.
Facts.
Now we're about streams. You know.
So how's that going? You know, calculating the streams and rating them and stuff like that.
Well, you know, these networks. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to always reach out to my attorney because these networks don't like to share streaming numbers. It's like the NASA secret, like the secret to get to the moon. Like I don't know how they calculate streaming numbers or of that sort, but they let you know what they want to hear. That's when you got to get a forensic accountant.
Exactly.
You got to audit the asses, or you got to get your attorney on board to find out from business affairs what's going on. But I've never knew a network that actually says, "Here, these are the streaming numbers that you guys are getting." You know, I don't know why they hold it so close to chest.
Well, it's because they don't want to pay everybody the same amount of money.
Yeah, that could be a reason as well too. Yeah,
you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you got the bag. You say, okay, you got 100 billion streams, and I'm about to take your money and pay this person over here.
Yeah, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Exactly. It's almost like when the ringtones back in the days. Remember the ringtones? How many ringtones did you have? You know, it's like ringtones, streaming. It's crazy.
Navigating the industry though, Markuann, I mean, is it difficult as hell, you know, going into these offices and, you know, pitching your show or networking or getting the back ends or trying to figure out the streams and stuff like that? How much of a headache is that, you know, when you're trying to be successful?
I mean, it is because, like I said, it's a competitive sport.
Yeah.
And you have to stay creating because if not, somebody else is creating, right? It's almost like you were the dope producer back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? And now they don't remember you as being that dope producer because there's another dope producer out.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about what you did yesterday. It's about what you're doing today. So to answer your question, it is difficult. You always have to keep creating. You always have to think what's next, right? Because after every season, somebody says, "You got a season 5?" I'm like, hold up. Now I got to walk back in and ask these guys again for another $100 million. And it's not that simple. Or they may, you know, the audience is complaining, talking about, why it takes a year for y'all to come out, because it's called money, right?
Yeah.
It's called someone saying, yeah, we're going to greenlight this, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with the strikes. We went through a Writers Guild strike, WGA. We went through a Screen Actors Guild strike. You know, we have to deal with our union. So it's a lot of elements that happen that takes the time to make this happen, to make a great show.
Exactly.
So walking in and navigating these boardrooms, they're looking at you like, what have you done? Why should we have you in here?
Yeah.
How can you make us money?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
So now the independent side as well though, man. I mean, what are some of the pros to that? And are you thinking about doing the independent work?
Well, the pros is if you have the money to do it, you know, it can be beneficial, right? The pros is that you control your own narrative, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to take notes from the studio. You don't have to take notes from the network, right? The cons is that you have to find a distributor.
Okay.
The cons is you might not find a distributor.
So what is it that the distributor does, and where do they distribute the content to?
Well, the distributors are distributed to the streamers. For example, right, there's a lot of people running around telling me they got Amazon deals. They all got to deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
First of all, there's different tiers to deals with Amazons and Netflix, right?
Break it down.
You can get what they call a licensing deal with Amazon, right? Where, for example, The Wire.
Yeah.
I think The Wire did 8 seasons. I will believe so, right? Don't hold me to that. So I could be the president of Amazon, who was Jen Selke at the time. She's not there anymore. But I could say, you know what? I want to go to HBO and license out only 4 episodes of The Wire. Or Netflix. Ted Sarandos says, I just want to license out 4 seasons of The Wire, not episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because after we did the algorithms and our data, we see that 1, 2, 3, and 4 was the best-selling series. So that's why you might see season 1 through 4 on Netflix or Amazon, maybe, right? That's your licensing deal. Then you have your deal as, I'm Beehive. I got a TV show that's real dope. After you go through their quality control, they may allow you to use their platform, and you share monetarily a split, right?
Yeah.
But it's up to you to do the marketing and everything of that sort. They're just allowing you to use the platform, right?
That's right.
So people say, I got an Amazon deal, right?
Okay.
Now, an Amazon deal to me is all out when it's an Amazon original
Ooh.
or a Netflix original.
Yeah.
That means they're taking care of marketing, they're taking care of production, they're
Yeah.
taking care of everything. But they're going to get the lion's share of it.
Yeah.
But you will see your out of home marketings on subways, on billboards, and everything of that sort, because marketing is a big part of promoting your show. Because if you have a great show and nobody knows about it, who's going to see it?
Ooh.
That's why when Godfather Harlem came out, we were all over Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
We were in New York City train system all over, you know what I'm saying? Because the marketing dollars can easily go as high as $30, $40, $50 million as well, too.
30, 40, 50 million.
Absolutely. I mean, you're marketing. That's even like getting a record deal, right?
Yeah.
You know, the marketing dollars, the tour support, everything of that sort. You have to get your product to the people. So it's not just about producing the product. It's about getting it over to the people as well, too.
Break down the whole marketing part of the game, and what do you feel like is some of the most effective versions of marketing out here?
Man, well, for television and film, you know, they still do outer homes. They do billboards. Hitting every place where there's going to be a lot of traffic, as far as like subway stations, airports, doing creative stuff as well. Like when the first season came out, we were part of, like, they call them the newbies on when you go watch a film and you're in the theater and you see the new stuff, the coming attractions. So what Epix did, they bought out 3,000, 4,000 theaters, whatever it may be, maybe 2,000 theaters, and we became part of a newbie. Like we were in front of whatever film that they had us in front of, right? An MGM film, right? Absolutely. So it could have been the new James Bond. That's an MGM property. So they'll put Godfather Harlem, just showing the trailer of it, right? It's a lot of ways that you can do marketing. You know, you have the digital wise. You know, you taking over Instagram. You know, you could be the heading on Google. You know, so it's a lot of creative ways that you can go about it, but it takes a lot of money to get it done.
You're damn right. I mean, when you think about those dollars, how much money would you need to round up if you wanted to be a successful independent person?
Oh man, well, it depends on what you're shooting, brother. Like it's like, are you shooting a documentary? Are you shooting? You know, you can do a film as cheap as $100,000 and as expensive as $2-3 million, right? But you have to have a plan of what you plan on doing with it, right? You know, a lot of people just. I saw this whole big Tubi thing when it came out. You know, I was laughing at it, but now Tubi's laughing at you because their budgets are crazy. I was watching the Super Bowl. They got commercials within the Super Bowl. So that means now the original content, they're not just letting anybody come in the Tubi universe and start putting out projects the wig is hanging off your head in one scene. You know, the Beijing look like you got armor oil on your head. You know what I'm saying?
Beard one scene, no beard the next scene.
Next scene. You know, the gunshots, you flying around like the Matrix like this. You know, now they're doing real projects. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, so then also when it comes to the different networks, because see, I want to ask you about that whole Tubi thing too, because that was a craze. But see, I know some folks that cashed out over there Tubi too.
But it's like, that's cool if that's what your goal is, to cash out. You know, but every check is not a good check. That's like me being an actor, right? If I took every role, then what makes me special, right? That's like, Markuann was just like, Mama Stole My Broccoli. Markuann was like, in Boys in the Hood 2, Doughboy Liz. Markuann was like in the EBT scam. You know what I'm saying? Like, Markuann was like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can like, we can get Markuann for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's like,
it's cheaper than the brand.
It doesn't make you special.
Exactly.
That's why you may see Denzel come out every now and then. You may see Brad Pitt come out. You know, that new movie F1 on Apple, that's supposed to be big for the summer. So these people take choices of what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have me in the bootleg John Wick, Leroy Flick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that. You know, so you have to look at yourself as a brand, right, and understand, and that goes to creating content, right?
Exactly.
You could cash out on Tubi. That's all good. You cashed out. But what are you in the game for? Are you in the game to get a Golden Globe or NAACP Image Award or Academy Award? Or are you in the game just say, yo, man, I just did a couple of projects, I just cashed out, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Art is
right
very
there.
subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you on that. Now, I mean, moving forward, though, Markuann, what do these folks need to be looking out for from you, man?
Oh, man. You can still continue to see me making history cool. Man, like I said, I have a project that I'm very excited about. Been working on for the last 7 years. It's about, you know, a city divided in the nation capital. I think it'll be very, very, very good. I'm very excited about it.
Give me the plot. What the hell's going on with this thing, Markuann?
Yeah,
I know
man.
it's crazy. Or do you need to hold it? It's on you.
No, I could tell you it's really about a city divided.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna put it like that. You know,
Okay.
it's about the haves, the have-nots.
Ooh.
It was the worst of times. It was the best of times.
Damn.
You know, the best
Yeah.
of times. It was the worst of times. So
Crazy.
really, I want to just keep continuing making history cool.
Okay.
Keep having families come together, like how we used to watch the Cosby Show back in the
Yeah.
days, and run home. It didn't matter if it was your grandmother, your auntie, your uncle. Y'all sat down and watched TV together.
TGIF.
Yeah, had
Yeah.
conversations. I just
Yeah.
like to create conversations.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to contact you and harass you, Markuann, about getting on the show or trying to get some consultation, how do they do that, man?
Well, my Instagram is Markuann. That's MARKUANN, and my name is Markuann. Last name is Smith on Facebook.
Already. Markuann.
Yes, sir.
Oh, as always, man.
B-High
Appreciate
TV,
you coming
baby.
through this thing. Wish you
Thank
nothing
you,
but the
my
best
guy.
and much success.
Absolutely.
B-High Radio Show and Markuann Smith. I'll let y'all in a minute, man. We go.